Today on the podcast, we talk about, I don't know what exactly we were tossing around the idea.
Today on the Rektfast Club podcast.
I've been overtaken.
Work in progress.
Will Jon battle Phil for supremacy? Find out. Next episode, Jon defeated.
Spoilers.
They literally did that with one of the episodes.
Yeah, I know.
You
Frieza defeated.
mean
Yeah.
all the episodes?
Yeah.
Look, Japan doesn't know how to, whatever. Anyways, welcome back to the podcast.
Yeah, welcome back.
We're here to talk about stuff and things that have happened with us since the last time we were around, as well as newsy type things that have come out. And we'll probably be talking about. You want to go ahead and do that discussion?
John and I were discussing before you got here, Noe. Just a role playing type of topic. What was it? What was the actual
role play style?
Yeah.
So basically, because it works both with video games and like pen and paper tabletop stuff,
and board games as well,
and other board games. Yeah. Really, it's just like, how do you? How are you taking? What's your approach here to doing the role playing of this character that you have here? Are you taking a complete blank slate and putting yourself in there? Are you making decisions based on how that character would make decisions because of his or her own beliefs and background and experiences? Are you just kind of doing whatever? Just talking about different ways that you can role play characters in games and stuff.
Okay.
But I guess before we get to all those, introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm John.
Hey,
I play video games. I also play tabletop games. That's mostly me.
Okay. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Noe. What's going on? I'm the dude's in behind the computer today.
He just waved at the mic.
Yeah. I just waved at the microphone.
I just noticed that too.
Does absolutely nothing. Okay, it helps me. You realize I talk with my hands a bit. Right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know you talk with your hands, but you waved at the mic. You actually waved at the mic.
Yes, I did. Okay, deal with it. That's how I do my job. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Someone's got to be the professional here.
Oh
No.
wow! Wow. Moving on.
Anyways,
But yeah, I'm I guess I'm the resident comic book nerd when it comes to most things.
More than us.
Yeah, but I dive into everything else: games, board games, video games.
Also, kind of the resident movie dude.
Oh yeah, I'm also the resident movie dude. I watch majority of the movies for the most part.
So, more than me, at least. I'm
Anyways, I mean, if someone else wants to take that title, you're more than welcome to. That's fine.
Fight.
Yeah.
I'm Philip. I play a lot of board games
Like a lot.
and
A lot.
and tabletop games,
Like a lot.
and I would say video games, but as of right now, it's just Monster Hunter.
Yep.
But video games too.
Yeah.
I love how, I'm not saying that the event's bad, but the year of the dog is launched and nobody's jumped on over.
It's completely been overtaken.
I hopped on to open my loot box, and then I was like, "Oh, that's cool," and just got off.
So I guess that kind of ties into what we've been doing lately. If we kind of just want to go around and say what we've been up to since the last time that we recorded.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. Who wants to go first?
I can go first. I haven't been up to much. Just Monster Hunter and work. Work was busy, and then a bunch of just personal stuff going on. Lots of Monster Hunter. That's about it. I'm about to go see Black Panther. I got tickets to Black Panther this week. Super excited for that. Been playing a lot of D&D as well. In fact, I had to clear off this table that we're talking on because my D&D stuff was everywhere.
I told you it was fine to leave it there.
It would have.
I wanted to look at the dungeon that you crafted.
I just picked up Shadow of the Colossus, and it's still in its plastic because Monster Hunter. Literally, Monster Hunter is life right now.
Death.
And it's pretty much it. But no, work's been busy. We're about to have our biggest launch, so super excited for that.
What's for lunch?
Launch.
Oh. You said biggest lunch.
I said biggest launch.
I know you said it, but I was going for a joke here. You just didn't pick it up. You just didn't. I handed you the ball and you didn't grab it. You just let it drop.
So, John, for lunch today is the roast beef sandwich.
Mm-hmm. That's all I've been up to.
That sounds good, actually. I could go for a roast beef sandwich right now.
Don't tell me that.
We'll
stop right now and go to Alvin's.
I haven't been out. I haven't been to that place in forever.
Anyways, what have you been up to John and or Noe.
No way, you go first.
Sure. So I've pretty much just been actually having a social life. I actually haven't played much video games.
Shun the non-believer!
But yeah.
Shun! No social lives on this No social lives on this podcast. Only nerdy media.
I don't know if I brought it up the last time because I don't know if I had seen it before the last time we did it, but I finally saw Jumanji.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah.
How was it?
I heard it's not bad.
No, it's actually really fucking funny.
Okay.
It's really funny. Like
And 4 minutes for the first F-bomb?
Yes, you're welcome.
It's probably a record, like in the latest direction.
Actually, it's 6 minutes, but yeah. No, but yeah, it was a really good movie. Jack Black stole that movie. He's probably the best thing about that movie. He's
Nice.
hilarious. It was really good. I wasn't expecting much, and I really loved it. I actually wanted to. At a later date, I want to talk about how Jumanji actually did a video game movie. And did it right.
A video game movie.
It's a video game this time.
Yeah, it's a video game.
Oh, that's right. You're right. It's totally.
And the character Jack Black, The Rock.
Like there
Kevin
are
Hart.
characters in the game, and the kids are assuming those roles.
Yeah.
And the character that
It kind of goes on with our RP thing.
That's
Yeah.
Well, now I gotta watch it. But does it really qualify as a video game movie
Yeah.
if they're just saying that it's a video game about a
I
thing?
mean,
that like it becomes so
as opposed to first being an actual
mild
release?
spoilers.
Mhm.
It starts off as it's still the board game. Like it picks up with you finding the board game in the sand again, like where it left off in the original movie.
Oh, neat.
And somebody takes it home,
And they just throw it away.
and they don't play it,
Okay.
and then it morphs itself into a game.
Oh, whoa.
It morphs itself into a video game, and like you hear the drums and everything, and they eventually find it. They end up playing it. They get sucked into it, just like Alan did.
That's some crazy ghost bullshit that just like, oh, okay, I'm not popular anymore. I better change myself into some kind of other media that's like way
Yeah,
more.
yeah. It's really weird. Like the implications of it is big, in my opinion.
So should we wait another 20 years where we get the holovid version of Jumanji?
so it morphed into a video game, and then they had to delete some stuff because they had no space on their PS4.
Yeah. No, but well, the great thing is the kids that get pulled into it, they assume the roles of the characters, which is The Rock, Karen Gillian, Jack Black, and Kevin Hart. And the person who ends up as Jack Black's character is a girl.
Mhm.
So he's pretending to be a 14-year-old playing him, and he does that flawlessly.
Yeah.
Like
It's literally exactly what our topic is going
Yeah,
to be.
yeah.
Oh, neat. Okay, cool. So you're going to be able to interject a lot about that.
Yeah, and
Cool.
the movie itself is Like I actually recommend you guys go watch it.
Awesome.
Like,
I'm so glad we didn't tell you what the topic was until you showed up right here. Because now you just so happen to have some awesome stuff that you can interject with that.
that just seems to be my shtick. I just so happen to have information that pertains to whatever conversation I'm jumping into.
Lucky. Oh, man.
Like
I'd call it the Deus Ex Machina, but I mean,
But good.
you've been around a little bit longer for that. It's been around a little too long for that to just be a Deus Ex.
yeah, it's
Anyway.
true. It's true. But yeah, I saw Jumanji. I've finished the series of Nova that I've been reading. It was really good.
Mhm.
I liked it. I feel like that could be a standalone movie if they wanted to adapt it to the Marvel Universe. If they brought Nova in, I feel like it'd be a good area to pull a lot of info from for that. So I really like that read.
I can see him appearing in like Guardians.
Well, because that whole thing is him becoming used to being Nova and trying to find his father.
Mm-hmm.
And you could literally take that 6-volume series and condense it into like a movie, maybe 2, of him searching and him becoming Nova.
Neat.
So it was really good. I still haven't read Volume 8 of Saga yet. I need to read it.
I picked it up. I haven't read it.
And same thing with Miss Marvel. And other than that, I've just been hanging out with people, getting to know other people,
Mm-hmm.
meeting other faces and bodies and stuff.
Neat.
Yeah. What have you been up to, John?
So Monster Hunter was a game that released in in late January of 2018, and ever since I picked it up and started playing it, I have not done anything else.
Nice.
I've had that game about a week, and I've put in about 95 hours on it. I put so much time in that game, I really don't remember what else I did before that game came out, and since the last time we recorded. Oh yes, I do. I restarted Persona 5 just to kind of go through it and have some fun. and to tide me over until Monster Hunter came out.
That's what I did. I started Horizon, and then Monster Hunter came out, and then
Oh no! Did you do the event?
I don't know.
Oh no! It's okay. You have a second chance at getting the actual character skin later.
I know Royal got the Robo first Palico.
Yeah. It's great. But yeah, a lot of Monster Hunter. I picked up DBZ, and I haven't. It's still in shrink wrap. I picked up Shadow Colossus. It's still in shrink wrap.
I've actually been going back
I haven't
to
done anything else really.
Fighters a lot. I've been picking it up. And
I heard it's really good. I mean,
it is
it's already,
very good.
It's already in the Evo Champion, like the.
Yeah, it's on main stage.
It's actually a lot harder to chain the combos together than I thought it is. But like when you get to chain and you get to hit the whole big combo and end with a big old finale.
I heard
fantastic.
it's also pretty simple. Like it's not.
Well,
there is an auto combo system, but
there's
still you got to know stuff.
Yeah, and there's like hidden moves that they don't tell you about.
It only gets you so far.
Yeah.
Most games with like auto combo kind of stuff only gets you so far until you run into people that still know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then they're just gonna waddle over you.
Which is funny because that game as well. The main story is you yourself assuming the role as Goku. Essentially, like you take control of them. Like they're aware of you controlling the other Z fighters. So that kind of dives into what we're going to be talking about today as well.
It's weird. Yeah, that I do need to actually.
So our topic is basically Assassin's Creed, because they go back in time and they're like in that machine and they're playing as the character.
No, because
not their character.
That railroads you. Because anytime that you kill somebody you weren't supposed to kill, it says you're not supposed to do that.
The Animus.
That's what I've been up to.
I've
played 2 video games in a month and that's it.
Yeah. I finally picked up. I finally decided to start playing Monster Hunter.
It's so like because I've never played. You and I both have never played.
This is my first Monster Hunter.
Same here.
I played like 30 minutes of Monster Hunter Generations or something. The one of them for the DS, and then I was I cannot use this without two thumbsticks, and then this one picked up. It took me a few missions to get the hang of it, and it's really, really fun. It's okay by yourself. It is amazing with 4 people.
Yeah, I've wanted to get into Monster Hunter for a long while.
Yeah.
Go hunt monsters, take their pieces to make weapons and armor out of them, and kill other monsters. Like, I want that concept. Yeah. The problem is I hate handhelds. So
I need to show you guys a video later. It's something called Super Go. It should still be on YouTube if anybody decides to look it up. But there's a section in it because they're brothers, they're ninjas, and all of a sudden they go rescue this damsel. It's really silly, really over the top. They're fighting bears with like TVs for heads and stuff like that, and these giant space whales. Like it's just this montage of them fighting weird stuff. And the other night when we were playing Monster Hunter, we were dealing with all that. I felt like I was playing the video game version of that video. It really did, because I'm like, we're trying to fight the big old bat thing, and then everything else is showing up and attacking us, and I'm like, what the?
And it was. So at first I was like, oh man, this isn't too hard, and we got to higher rank, and you're like, okay, we have to actually. All right, I'm bringing this trap and some bombs. And,
you gotta start planning stuff when you go in there.
Like, I've got health booster. You're using the cleanser booster. Like, you have to actually. We changed our weapon setup because we're fighting one dude.
Yeah, no, I upgraded like 2 different weapons and stuff like that because we were going in and stuff. It's great. I love that game.
Roy was telling me that like he has 10 swords that are technically the same sword, all built in different branches.
Yeah.
To deal with certain things.
I have 7 different long swords to cover every elemental type damage, and then I have 2 bows and 2 heavy bow guns.
Yeah, I have the dual blades. I have like fire, ice, lightning, blast, poison, water. It's just you have to use different elements, because stuff gets hard, and that little extra damage goes a long way.
Yeah, it's like the problem is that you need this part for this weapon that you're working on, but the weapon that you're working on is not good for getting that part because you have to break this certain part of it, which is you have to break his face, but I don't want to use the longsword to break his face. I'd rather work on the tail. So now I have to get lucky and have a grinding armor set that just increases my drop rate. So hopefully I actually get it. So it's crazy.
And we played. You played 100 hours. I probably played close to that too, and we're not finished with the story yet.
No. I've done a lot of just running around and exploring.
Because there's a ton of optional stuff and stuff that I'm still. Oh crap! I didn't know I could do. Like I just did something really cool. I climbed up a wall, jumped off to the wedge beetle, and then like jumped all the way across the thing and then landed on the monster. I was like, I didn't mean to do that, kind of, sort of. And then I landed on the monster and cut his tail off. Like, that's awesome.
So I guess that kind of it helps segue us into the news a bit, because one of the things that happened since the last time that we talked was Monster Hunter, DBZ, and Shadow Colossus all dropped. And poor Dissidia, because you really should have just pushed up or pushed back your release date, because there's no way that you were going to compete with that.
No.
Not really. No, not at all.
And there's a bunch of other games releasing this week. I think Bayonetta 2 is coming out this week.
That's right. Speaking of which, I actually, just a tidbit, I actually finally bought Skyrim for the first time.
Oh, I didn't know you hadn't played it.
I hadn't played it. I bought it for the Switch.
It's good for the Switch. It's an awesome game.
It looks like a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get started with it. But every time I want to play a game, my mind wanders to Monster Hunter first.
It is not hard for me to.
There's a few other games. Oh, the Secret of Mana remake is coming out. I don't think until 2 weeks.
Really?
But it's coming out soon. So yeah, let's just start with the news.
What else we got on this here? Hey, have you heard about Soul Calibur 6?
It's supposed to come out this year.
6?
Yeah.
Soul Calibur... Oh, you haven't heard about this?
No, I haven't.
Soul Calibur 6 is coming out this year.
No.
We got new characters. We got old characters coming back.
More souls, different calibers. All good.
People look young, so people are thinking that it's like early in the series.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so sure, though, because there's at least one character that has like a transformation. If you get a chance later, start watching some of the trailers on that.
Mm-hmm.
It looks great. They got a nice little I forgot exactly what they call it. It's like a little parry system where you get a clash system where you hit and then you have to come back and hit. And you have to come back and you have to try and rock paper scissors against them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so whenever you clash, you go into the little rock paper scissors type of thing.
So
and if you win, you get free damage on them.
So block, dodge, and hit.
No, I think it's like a high-low meet or something like that. I don't know exactly how it works, but there's some cool new stuff that they added.
Quick, heavy, or something.
Yeah, and it still does have the critical finish type things.
Nice. That's another thing I wanted to mention. I'm not a big fan of like fighting games. Like I haven't played them in a while, and I never really understood like the button layout until I got Fighters. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just because I really like Dragon Ball Z or what, but I learned the system pretty quickly.
Well, I haven't popped that in yet, but let me ask you this: Does Fighter Z have a?
It's just Fighters, not Fighter Z.
Whatever. Does it? I'm still gonna call it Fighter Z. Does it have like a mandatory kind of tutorial session that kind of tells you this is what you do when this, or like this is what this button does?
It puts you into the story, and you can go do fights that run you through tutorials.
Good.
You can ignore them for the most part.
Okay, good. Well, the reason that you weren't super into fighters before is because none of them told you how to play.
Or like any of the fighting games.
And fighting games now tell you how to play. They're catching on that we need to give people tutorials so that we can expand our audience. Because otherwise, we're just getting the same fighters come back and playing.
Yeah.
And when a new fighting game comes out, they're going to leave our game and go to the other one. Yeah. But if we have tutorials, then we have more people, especially with like a licensed product like Dragon Ball. Then, you're going to have people flocking from everywhere to come play that. And as long as you tell them how to play, they'll play it.
Yeah, it's really good though.
Which is surprising for Monster Hunter because god damn, is it not accessible?
Yeah, it was like running into a brick wall and just continuing to run.
Yeah, maybe they'll fix that later on their next console release. Now that they know it's gonna sell on consoles.
Yeah, right.
It's definitely there's a few things I don't like about Monster Hunter is the fact that you can't team up until you finish the cutscenes. Instead of just I want to do a mission with we're at the same point in the story. But you can't join each other until both of y'all watch the stupid cutscene.
No, you got to experience the story, bro.
Yeah,
that's perfectly fine. But yeah, Soul Calibur, from what you're telling me, sounds pretty cool.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to look it up because I had no idea about it.
You've played some of the other ones, right?
I used to exclusively play only Soul Calibur as a fighting game.
That's okay because that's pretty much what I did earlier on before I started to jump on Street Fighter.
SoCal 3 was the game I played for the longest.
2 and 3, yeah. I played that a lot. lot.
And mainly, and I got it for multiple consoles to get the other characters. It was Spawn, Hayachi, and Link.
Yeah, that's Soul Calibur 3, right? That's the one I actually played.
It's been a while since we haven't had like guest characters, so I'm assuming that there's probably still going to be a guest character this time around, but I haven't seen one just yet.
It'd be cool if they like did Kratos for PlayStation.
You never know. Possibly.
I'm just saying, that'd be cool.
You never know. What else we got? Hey, you know about that game called Anthem?
You mean made by that one company?
That one company, yeah.
Or published by that one company?
Yeah, published by that one company, yeah. The one that happens in space and stuff. With dudes that run around in the forest and have spacesuits and guns.
Yeah.
Anthem.
What about it?
It's not coming out this year. It got delayed till 2019.
Yeah, it got delayed.
That's all I got on
it. No. It got delayed. And completely honest with you, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I feel really bad for the studio that's working on it, but, you know.
Yeah, fun fact about that, it's pretty much been said that this is a make or break game now for BioWare. Am I wrong with that? Studio?
No, it's
BioWare.
It's BioWare. It's the same one that did Andromeda, right?
Andromeda, yeah. Which is funny because what that means is that if it's successful, and I heard this on another podcast, so I'm sorry, I'm just going to straight rip the actual statement. But if Anthem is successful, you're never seeing a different game coming from that studio ever again. And if it's unsuccessful, that studio is getting shut down because it is under EA. We know how that's going to play out.
Yeah.
But them basically saying it's make or break for the studio, it tells us exactly to never expect anything else out of that studio. Bye Mass Effect. It's gone. Of course, we knew that when they shelved the franchise after the Andromeda fiasco. But that'll be fun. Delayed till 2019. I see you adding stuff there.
I am.
List there. What do you got?
Metroid Prime 4, which was announced last year at E3 or whatever,
Previously,
is apparently being developed by Bandai Namco. It's not confirmed, but it's pretty much confirmed, which would be interesting. I hope they, because originally it was Retro Studios, was Metroid Prime 1 and 2, I think. I don't know which did 3. But that'd be cool. I hope it does well. They do it
well. It should sell well because it is Metroid.
I also hope they. I'm still waiting for them to bring the old games from Wii U, Wii, and
bring them to the Switch like as a collection.
Yeah.
Nah, just go play them on Wii. It's fine.
Yeah, to the Switch.
Actually, I think they are available on. They were available on Wii U. I think that they were digitally at least.
Yeah. So that's cool. Apparently a new Dragon Age. I didn't hear this one.
I barely heard about this one, but we do have a new Dragon Age game in development. No dates, no further exact details on that, but it is. I believe that it is actually just Dragon Age 4.
Yeah, it is.
Mainline title.
Let's see. At BioWare. We don't have a release date yet. Let's see. That's it. That's all we have.
That's because they're going to put out Anthem first, and if it fails, the studio's dead and the game's canceled.
And a late 2019 release.
Can we take a small moment to just take a moment of silence for Star Wars 1313?
I mean, that game died forever.
I know, but I still want to. I want to acknowledge that we could have had.
I've had a moment of silence for years. All right, I'm okay to talk now.
Let's go watch the trailer and get real sad.
Yeah, let's watch the trailer and we'll get real sad. So next one, we already talked about Matt. Now guess what? Monster Hunter DBZ and Shadow Colossus dropped. I'll say it again because those are really good games.
Oh yeah.
Another thing happened. I did actually forget to mention this, but the Royal Rumble happened. I watched a fair amount of that.
You're like the only one I think out of us that watched it.
Yeah, I realized that I still had some time left on the that free pass thing that I got from them some time back. And it was just enough time to get through like the Royal Rumble or whatever. So yeah, I just figured, well, screw it, I'll watch it while I'm doing some other stuff. The Rumbles were actually pretty good, especially having the first women's Rumble which brought back a lot of people. Yeah, I think I messaged y'all about this, how many people they were bringing back.
I mean,
I'm not sure if the message actually got through that there is a women's Royal Rumble.
No, I messaged you because I was like, is there even 30 active wrestlers?
There's
women?
not. That's why they needed so many people to come back. But they added the first ever women's Royal Rumble.
And they ended the show.
And it was it closed the show. It went on after the men's Rumble.
Nice.
A lot of people coming back. Rey Mysterio, Hurricane, Lita, Michelle McCool, Molly Holly, Vicky Guerrero. China actually got mentioned, which I do want to... There's a lot of speculation that they might not even bring up China because she had that whole thing with Triple H or whatever, and then also going and doing adult films later. But who knows? They actually mentioned her, so that was kind of cool. Kelly came back. Jacqueline, Beth Phoenix, Nikki, and Brie came back. I thought they were both retired at this point, but they are back. So too. Trish comes in last, number 30. Mm-hmm. Place explodes, of course. It was actually a good Rumble.
I'm
both
surprised
of them
did Trish last.
So Asuka won, right?
Yes,
and then
of course
you can't not have her win.
Yeah. Asuka is great. She is.
And what's his name? Won the men's, right? Nakamura?
Yes, Shinsuke Nakamura won the men's and
sweet.
chose AJ Styles as opponent.
Oh,
so we're getting AJ Nakamura at WrestleMania.
So
I want to watch that.
Now you gotta watch WrestleMania.
Yeah. Where are we watching WrestleMania?
Yeah.
So are we gonna watch it? Okay, so we'll go ahead and make the plans now. Where are we gonna be watching it? Are we going to your place, John's? Are we coming to your Phil? Or
my place is okay. If y'all want to make the drive, my place is all right. If y'all want to make the drive, I'll drive down here. Whatever. Don't matter to me.
Okay.
But the one thing that happened after the actual Rumble itself is Ronda Rousey comes out. She has signed with WWE, and she does the point at the WrestleMania sign, so she's probably going to debut her first big match at WrestleMania. Might be her first match total. I don't know. Who knows? But it's Ronda Rousey. She's been a wrestling fan for a while, so it's really not surprising.
Did her losing to Katie Holmes really hurt her career that bad?
She was... Holly Holm.
It wasn't that because she fought after that.
No, she was depressed for a while after that.
I know she was depressed.
She fought Amanda Nunes after that and got destroyed.
Again.
Worse than Holly Holm.
That's right. I remember that.
Amanda Nunes is a kick. It's just as worse than Holly Holm. Yeah, it was as bad. And then she went where the money was, man. She can make a lot of money.
That's true.
She likes wrestling, and that she was gonna make the company money, and she was gonna get money by going there. So
that's true.
It was always.
She's still the most popular, female athlete probably, in all of them.
Even being outside, out of the,
they know
view for a while.
She popped up. Everybody knew who she is. They know who she is.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And she's got the Ronda Rousey shirt in the Familiars font. So I mean,
okay, that works.
Well, I mean, that was actually the jacket that Roddy Piper actually.
It was. Yeah, that's true. That's why it was all big.
Yeah.
Okay, so after that, we got some more recent news. We got Red Dead Redemption 2.
Got delayed a little bit,
but it's okay. Still coming out this year, October 26th, 2018.
And actually, before we continue on with that, mention that the Super Bowl was a thing.
I forgot the Super Bowl was a thing. Yeah.
Well, we're talking about all the stuff that happened during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we got some of the stuff that happened during the Super Bowl.
Okay. We watched it. It was a good game. We watched it more than we thought because I went to John's place with Hunter.
We fully expected to just be playing board games the entire time, but we ended up watching at least 2/3 of that game.
Yeah. So I was at work and I wasn't. They had it on the screen at work, but I wasn't paying attention. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until the last quarter I looked up and I was like, "Oh,
this is a game."
Yeah.
Oh wait, what? And all of a sudden, that call comes in, and I'm talking to a customer, and I hear the customer go, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "What happened?" And I'm looking at the TV, and he's like, "This happened." And for 5 minutes, we were talking about the game.
No. That's what we started. We watched the opening thing. All right, let's play some board games. We played board games all through. We watched the end of the second quarter.
We got through the first quarter, then we started playing, and then we got through almost most of the fourth quarter. Before we started really paying attention to it, but we stopped between games for a while and just watched it because it was
Because it was entertaining. No, I think like one punt. Like it was just back and forth action.
Which, depending on your preference of how how a football game should be, then that's one thing or another. But I liked it. I thought it was a great game.
So Red Dead, October 26th,
2018.
Which
I am excited.
I am kind of excited. I never played Red Dead 2, so
please do.
Or Red Dead Redemption. So
you really should
don't know if I'll play
Red Dead Redemption.
Please play Redemption, please.
It is a very good game.
Am I going to need to play Red Dead?
I have no idea, but I would say please. Actually, no, I do have an idea because you were playing as. There's a direct tie-in. You're playing as a gang that is related to a character from Redemption.
Okay.
You are probably you're going to need
to
play this game.
You're going to need to play the first one.
I have it on the Xbox.
Please do.
Don't.
Yeah, don't make those noises at me. That's one of the greatest games of greatest games.
So Kingdom Hearts 3 still hasn't shown its face. Finally showed its face.
Well, I mean, it's been kind of throwing stuff out there every now and then, but they did show another new world that's going to be coming out in Kingdom Hearts 3. Monsters Inc. is making it to the game,
which is pretty sweet.
So I read a tweet the other day. It's like, I want to play Kingdom Hearts. I've never played. What do I need to do? Oh, there's two games. There's side spin-off games. There's a musical that came out that you might need to, that has some specific dialogue. Kingdom Hearts, it has probably one of the hardest entries if you've never played before.
If you haven't played any of the games and you want to get into Kingdom Hearts 3, don't.
No.
It's as it is. I played 1 and 2 and watched a lot of stuff from some of the other games, and there's a bunch more that I still have to go through to play Kingdom Hearts 3 properly, and I'm just going to say screw it and play Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah. Which I might end up doing.
Yeah, because I'm going to miss out on a lot of the plot, but it's
plot,
so
plot,
much.
Plot.
Yeah, they had a new theme song too. It was alright. What else we got?
Deadpool 2 trailer. We see Cable for the first time. Or Cable in action for the first time, I should say. It's a funny trailer. Looks good. I think it has a release of May 18th.
Yep.
Which the month of May, or that week of May, is going to be crazy because also, during the Super Bowl, we saw a trailer for Solo. Or what I like to call it, the Lando trailer, because I think Donald Glover stole the show with just those 2 screenshots. He looks awesome.
He does, but how do you steal a show in a trailer?
Because it's Lando.
All right.
And that releases the same freaking day as Infinity War, I believe.
It also releases the same freaking weekend that I'm getting together with a bunch of my friends and playing D&D for 4 or 5 days straight.
Well, guess what you're not doing?
Oh, I'm still watching that movie.
I was saying you're not playing D&D anymore.
No, I'm playing D&D. I'm doing both. The problem is that we're gonna have to session up until 10, 11 p.m. I go to the theater for a late show and watch the movie, go to sleep, get 2-3 hours of sleep, wake up, and then we play another 12 hours of D&D because that's how we do it whenever we do this get together.
Okay.
But it's gonna.
Solo looked okay.
Yeah, it didn't look too bad.
We also saw the first look at the new Jurassic World.
Yeah.
It looked.
It's a dino movie.
I feel like the story of why they have to go back is a little.
I don't understand why they had to go back.
Exactly. And why they're not going back with a freaking army is beyond me.
Because it's a Monster Hunter tie-in. That's why. This is
It
secretly.
looks scary. So when I was a kid and I first saw Jurassic World, that movie scared the hell out of me. Jurassic Park. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I meant.
I don't know what you meant. That's why I had to ask.
So this one looks kind of scary. Kind of better, I guess.
Somebody has already made the theory that the reason they're setting this up for King Kong to show up. They're going to tie in Jurassic World with King Kong and Godzilla.
The Switch has already... I don't know if we mentioned this last time. I think we mentioned that it is the fastest selling Nintendo console, but the Switch is already outsold in less than a year the Nintendo Wii U. The Wii U.
Not hard to beat.
Yeah.
No.
Wii U was the worst. I love the Wii U. That it had some really good games.
Wii U did have some good games. It had terrible marketing.
Yeah.
Which Nintendo has done forever.
So I guess I don't know if we mentioned this last time, but speaking of Switch, they also had that what is it called? The Labo, the cardboard thing.
Labo.
Yeah.
Labo.
I thought that was pretty
Suction.
cool.
It's cardboard.
Yeah. They said it's pretty cool.
Liposuction.
I'm sorry. I'm probably the only one on Twitter who's like not impressed with, who's not like up and like super happy and excited about it.
Well, from what I understand, like you don't even have to like buy the stuff from them. You can get like the
you can just get the PDF version or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Nintendo's like, something's interesting coming. It's meant for kids, and then people were so, what is this cardboard stuff?
I get that. I get that. It's just like, I like stuff for kids too.
Yeah.
But I don't like this.
So yeah, and then John and I just watched it, the Venom trailer.
Yo, let's talk about the Venom trailer.
Let's talk about, is this first supervillain movie? I've asked Phil earlier, but he disagreed with me.
What?
I think
is
it's
this the first supervillain movie?
I think it's. I mean, probably is. It is, but I think it's gonna be more of a anti-hero type of movie, kind of like
Possibly.
how the Punisher show.
What I think is gonna happen is
I was honestly unimpressed with the trailer. So.
Well, so I feel like it would have been either two things. They either showed a whole lot and people complained about them giving away too much, or what they did now, and it's just like everyone's complaining there's not enough information.
Is it me or movies? Usually, I felt that in the past that we would get a trailer or a teaser, and then it would be all over a year till the actual movie came out. This is coming out in the fall.
Yeah.
And we haven't even seen anything for the Dark Phoenix movie. And it comes out this fall, too.
I mean, we didn't get anything for Solo, and it comes out in May, and we got it in February.
Yeah. It seems that people, they're just not releasing stuff, or...
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, it's not great, but I would prefer them not give us a whole lot.
So have they confirmed what the third non-story Star Wars movie that's coming out?
No, I don't remember the topic.
I think
the character.
I thought they had confirmed it was going to be Obi-Wan.
No, I think that's just a fan-made...
I have no idea.
Okay.
I would love to have that, but... No, maybe.
I prefer an Obi-Wan to a Fett.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too. But, like I was saying about Venom, what I'm hoping for, and the trailer doesn't really give you a whole lot to go off by, but I do like the fact that they don't show you Venom, they show you a lot of things that don't seem to make sense. I'm hoping it's like a battle of like his duality of trying to do the right thing, but then wanting to do what he wants.
But is the reason that they don't show too much of Venom? It's Venom himself. Like the reason is the reason for that because it's a what's the word? Origin movie
For a villain? It very well might be, and if they do it right, you could do the whole movie with him battling with that, and near the end he becomes Venom and just starts wrecking the city.
It's Eddie Brock, right? That's the character, and he was actually a good person, right?
Yeah.
I don't. My Spider-Man knowledge is.
He was a very good person, but he's also very spiteful, especially towards Peter Parker.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how this ties in. I don't know if this ties in at all.
So it's Sony, right? So is it in the universe of Amazing Spider-Man, or is it in the universe of?
It's not.
It's separate.
It's separate. It's its own separate thing. Because weren't they going to do a Sinister Six as well?
They were originally going to do their own Sinister Six, but then Amazing Spider-Man didn't do so great, and
then Amazing Spider-Man 2 did even worse.
Yeah, and so they made the deal with Marvel
or Disney,
and then Spider-Man: Homecoming did fantastic.
Is one of my favorite.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie, and
also
I feel like they're still trying to say that they can still make a good movie without the help of Disney and Marvel.
That's entirely what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And
it looks promising. Because I think it's going to be more of a. It looks honestly.
Because I honestly think we're gonna go this whole Venom movie without even seeing Peter Parker at all.
Yeah, well, that's
definitely.
And I feel like if it does well, if they do it right, they could tie him into the Spider-Man: Homecoming verse.
It looks not so much like a scary movie, but just a creepy type of movie, and then it's also kind of a superhero kind of thing on there. If they focus less on the superhero aspect and more on the just this is a creepy story, it could be. Because it was tense and it had some creepy...
I would also like it for them to do where he doesn't even realize the symbiote's a part of him.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are moments where, like, you do it where he has moments where he blacks out and doesn't remember what's happening.
Yeah.
and he wakes up in like weird situations, and he's trying to figure out what's going on, and it slowly starts to corrupt him.
So, we were talking about Homecoming is probably one of my favorite Marvel movies, as well as Winter Soldier. But honestly, from what I've read of the Black Panther and what I've seen, I think that is probably going to be my favorite Marvel
people
movie.
are already saying that it's the best movie that they have put out, hands down. That is top notch. It's the best movie.
It looks amazing. The soundtrack dropped the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome soundtrack, and it's sold the most tickets, like pre-order tickets already.
Yeah.
Like I tried to order some and I had to go at Thursday at like 11:30.
Oh no! You had to wake up before the sun was high noon.
No, 11:30 at night.
Oh no!
On Thursday.
You had to wake up before the moon was at night noon.
No, but yeah, like I would like for them to do the Venom movie in a more like sinister fashion, creepy fashion.
Yeah.
There's several different ways they could play because the symbiote is its own thing, so it could very well be like a bane on the character's life.
Oh, speaking of Bane, Tom Hardy played Bane and
Yeah.
got his power from Venom, and now he's playing Venom in another universe. Okay, anyways.
Question:
Yeah.
why is it called a symbiote? What's the actual symbiotic relationship?
So
It's an alien.
It's an alien.
Yeah, no. That's the actual.
But it's
why,
like
why is it actually a symbiotic relationship? Why? What's the benefit to both sides here?
It needs a host to actually live for long periods of time.
Okay, so that's a parasite so far.
Yes.
And then.
But it enhances whatever it affects.
It gives the person power. It feeds on their dark side. It feeds on their negative energy. I don't know.
Do it.
Yeah, it feeds on their negative energy and like
or negative emotions.
And it actually brings that out in you. So
it makes them stronger.
Yeah. So you feel those emotions a lot more. So you become a completely different person.
Don't you remember Spider-Man 3? Peter puts it on to get more powerful.
It sound like a parasite.
But it's
why
not.
So why don't they call it the parasite?
Anyways, we also saw.
I'm gonna slap you, John.
We saw some pictures of Captain Marvel.
That too.
That's all you got? That's all. That's more than what I got.
What do you guys think of the suit?
Oh, I haven't even seen it.
You guys haven't seen it?
I saw it.
What do you think?
I'm waiting to see more before I make a judgment.
Because it's weird, right? It's not colored right. It's
the colors could be, like I said, it could be something else. Because doesn't she?
What I'm thinking is the reason why the suit's colored the way it is because she gets it from somebody who's a Kree.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, doesn't she deal a lot with the Kree, and those are his colors? So that's what I think it is. But like I said, I'm gonna wait till see more. It's just Ace. It was one or two screenshots, or one or two shots.
I'm on the optimistic bandwagon. I'm kind of hyped. The suit looks good. Like it's got a weird color pattern, but that makes sense. So we don't know what's the story about yet.
Yeah.
We just know it's set in the 90s.
I don't know.
I believe it takes place in the 90s. It takes place before everything.
I can't even find any screenshots.
But I love the fact that it's being played by Brie Larson.
Brie Larson.
I love her. She's a great actress.
I'm excited. It just gives us more superheroes in the mix. That's not what we've seen for the last 10 years.
I'm gonna keep saying this. I really want.
I forgot. We also saw Ant-Man and Wasp trailer.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see it.
It looks
look
awesome.
I don't pay attention to stuff when I'm playing video games.
It's funny. It looked funny. When they first announced Ant-Man a while back, I was excited. Mm-hmm. Then I saw they weren't doing. They were doing Paul Rudd, and I was kind of what? And then it was what's his name, and I was like okay. And then I actually watched the movie, and I was pleasantly surprised. It was a really good movie. It was good. I liked it.
Fantastic.
And then this one looks really cool. I'm excited for this one.
I'm so excited for it. Just what they gave us, I'm already on board.
I like the Wasp. I like what's her name?
Evelyn Lilly.
Yeah.
I think is how you say her name.
Yeah, she was the love interest in The Hobbit, which is so weird. Anyways.
Yeah, it was weird. But yeah, no, I'm excited for that as well.
I don't think that there's any other kind of newsy things
on
that's
a,
happened.
On a side note, I've made some friends that refuse to watch trailers before movies come out, but they'll still go to the movies, and it's hilarious because when like a Marvel trailer comes up, I literally see them tuck their heads in their hands and like plug their ears because they don't want anything spoiled.
I'd rather know if my money's worth it.
So I did that.
I get that.
Yeah.
I did that for episode 7.
I get that too.
You know, it's like this is the first Star Wars movie since, early 2000s. The first good one that's going to come out. So I'm excited for this one. I don't want to know anything about it. I want to be just, and it was hard because it was just the toys that came out before then, just everything. It was so hard to just avoid that. And so...
very, very hard.
So I accidentally like, oh, okay, Rey, I know their name, and it's just all that. So, but I still, when the text started scrolling up, I was just, just...
It's a good feeling.
Yeah. But honestly, the best feeling I've had in a Star Wars movie was the ending of Rogue One. Like, that entire movie was just...
It was a fantastic ending sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was funny because I got into a big argument with someone else about this because they apparently can't have they can't like a movie unless it has a happy ending. And
I know somebody like that.
I thoroughly disagreed with them for about 4 hours, and it's just like no. They're like, and I was like, have you not seen Logan? I haven't watched Logan because of the ending. Watch the movie. You'll understand why. That movie it would not be as good. Nowhere near as good. And Rogue One is another good case of that. And Train to Busan is another good example of that.
You keep talking about that. I still need to watch it.
Watch it. Well, Train to Busan is a great zombie movie.
I don't understand how the ending of Rogue One is still not, in the grander scheme of things, a happy ending, because they came away with the plans that eventually led to the blowing up the Death Star. Okay, so depending on your point of view, maybe it is a bit sad ending because oh shit, they just got the Death Star plans. They're gonna blow up 1,000 million people that are on the Death Star. So I guess from your point of view, a certain point of view,
well,
it's
not
the
even
main
that.
characters.
It's not, yes, it's that. And the spoilers alert: none of the main characters make it out, and people have an issue with that. They want their characters that they've invested time with.
Hey, guess what? Hey, guess what? This is a war movie.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is the first war movie in the Star Wars franchise.
Not every story has a happy ending.
And I enjoy seeing that, where the good guys got what they planned, but at what cost,
Yeah. No, it was... They said it right out from the beginning. It's in Rogue One in particular, this is a suicide mission.
No.
And they're going to do it anyways.
We gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
They die.
they, oh my God, they died.
Oh no, they're dead.
Look, but
I enjoy. I can see wanting to watch movies with sad endings, but I do enjoy endings that just leave you, what the fuck,
Like in my opinion, as long as it improves on the whole story and everything. Like again with Rogue One, Logan, with Train to Busan. Even though you guys haven't seen it, trust me, you guys will agree. Like it's definitely worth it.
So how does that person deal with like trilogies and stuff and see because
episode part 2 of whatever trilogy is usually not a very happy one.
Because the ending of I'm looking at the Fellowship of the Ring, you have what's his name dying and everybody split.
The Fellowship is split.
Yeah, that's not a happy ending.
Yeah, that's part 1 that has the sad ending.
Yeah, no, I after a while I just kind of gave up arguing with them honestly. Because they just want to watch good film movies and I can get that. Like you want to have a good ending, but
you're robbing yourself of a lot of good stuff out there.
Yes, you really are. I mean, look at Full Metal Jacket. Like Full Metal Jacket is a somber movie after the first 40 minutes.
Right after the first 40 minutes.
After the first 40 minutes, it comes crashing to reality quick, and you need movies like that.
Like even the ending of Civil War.
Yeah, Civil War is not a happy ending.
That was not a happy ending.
But nobody died, so...
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, Tony and Cap's friendship died.
Cap is wrong.
You think so?
Cap is wrong.
I think he was very selfish.
I think it was extremely wrong. Anyways... I don't care. Come at me, bro. At me on Twitter. John and John 44. Come on, get at me, bro. I don't care. I just won't look. I won't look. I'll give you a like. That way you get some reactions on your tweet, and for the effort of actually tweeting at me. But get at me, whatever. I don't care.
Team Iron Man all the way. Yo.
Yeah. No, it's in real talk. That what little I have read of the Marvel Civil War, when I was actually trying to get through it the entire time, I was just like, just sign up. Just sign the thing. It's the right thing to do. Well, it's the right thing to do.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Let's not start this argument here.
We can, because there's that.
I was pro superhero registration. I will say that right now.
I'm gonna move 10 feet this way.
Go ahead.
I was leaning toward that. Like I lean toward that, but I'm not necessarily pro superhero registration.
There's too much restrictions on it. There has to be a middle ground in that restriction if you want them to sign up.
Anyways, let's not talk about superhero politics right now.
Right, someone cuts it out and makes it like if we're talking about actual politics.
The government did nothing wrong in The Incredibles. Incredibles 2 is coming out soon. Yeah, we forgot about that. We haven't talked about that at all.
No, but that's a good segue. Good segue, John.
We've been waiting for 12 years?
Forever. It's picking up right after the end of that first movie, so that's
so excited.
I can't believe we haven't brought that up. That's been like our news for a while now.
Yeah.
Oh God!
All right, it's just one of those things where you find yes, we finally have it, and just we have to wait.
I know it's so far.
That's how it was with Toy Story 3 because I was not a big fan of Toy Story 2 at all, and then Toy Story 3 came out.
I was like, you should have left it at 1. It's a good send off, but now it's kind of pointless that they're coming back.
Toy Story 3 is good.
It's good. It's all right. It's a nice send off, but I'm okay with just leaving it at 1. But because it kind of kills the entire point of 3, the ending of 3, to have the series come back because they're doing more Toy Story.
Are they really?
Yes. Exactly.
Why?
Exactly.
Why?
It kills the point. So I just leave it as I like Toy Story 1. That's it for me.
It's like when I found out. I found this out recently the other day that there's a Fox and the Hound 2. I was like, what the.
So I didn't know.
Why is there a Fox and the Hound 2? How?
So I didn't know there were more Lion Kings.
There is a lot. Yeah, there's a
lot more Lion Kings.
And I was just like, what? They had a perfect story, and that's it. They just leave it there. But then again, there's
direct to DVD, bro.
then again, there's how many Shreks? Which
the first 2 were fine.
Look, you can't leave money on the table when you're Disney. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. So we got anything else that's happened recently?
No, probably, but
other than getting semi-heated over Civil War.
We now have a running gag.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a perfect just like implementing something like that in stories. It's just I think it's pretty cool.
I think you just gave John an idea.
No, I tried.
Guess what? It was already kind of the idea. It's actually not the idea, but there's something that's a little bit of. Spoiler alert, I'm kind of working on my very first Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing, and I'm creating a world and a story in it, and I have like a basic plot idea, and it is sort of, I guess, it might be spoilers just to tell it to y'all too, because y'all are going to be playing in it, I believe.
So, John,
but there's a little bit of a deconstruction aspect to it, so, I mean,
I'll probably forget by then.
That's fine.
John is getting on the other side of the screen and DMing, and I am...
First time on the other side of the screen, and this is the first time on the player side of the screen in a while.
So I've always DM'd for my groups, be it Dungeons & Dragons or Star Wars or whatever.
Because nobody else will.
Exactly. And I enjoy it a lot.
Hunter.
and I enjoy it.
I don't think we mentioned him last podcast.
No,
we broke the chain. We broke the chain.
And I enjoy that, but this will be the first time playing an actual character that I'm playing for more than, an interaction with other players. So I'm excited for that one. I have my character made and
he's already ready, and I don't have the first session ready.
Yeah, and I'm like, I need to order new dice, and I already had.
I was gonna say he's ready to roll up his character, but he did standard array or something. He did point buy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. I trust you.
I did.
You know how to do
no, I did standard array.
Oh, okay.
Which is the same thing as point buy.
Essentially.
Yeah. Anyways,
I want a night elf mohawk.
I remember that commercial.
Oh yeah, I remember that commercial because I was super into WoW.
Yeah. Nerd.
Anyways, so D&D,
So that's a
our
good,
topic.
Good enough transition, yeah. So I guess talk a little bit about role-playing styles, and like I mentioned earlier, is it whenever you have a character, are you kind of putting yourself into place in order to make decisions, or are you making decisions based on how that character might make decisions based on their own experiences and their backgrounds, or you know, what's your kind of approaches to that? And we'd love to hear like y'all's. We're from Texas. Y'all's responses on y'all's approaches on playing these here characters in the
We
D&D.
all have cowboy hats.
And should I pretend to be Travis Willingham?
No,
My voice isn't that deep.
Your voice isn't that deep.
It's not that deep. But yeah, that's kind of like the little discussion that we got going on here. So, and this applies to like video games and all sorts of role playing type things. On the video game side of things, let's start with video games. One of the easiest ways to kind of differentiate the character itself is say Mass Effect versus anything from Elder Scrolls.
Anything from
where
Bethesda.
You have in Bethesda's Elder Scrolls series, you have a complete blank slate character. You're making the race. They give you like a quick line about what you were trying to do and why you're in the situation that you're here, but there's nothing else about your backstory or about your motivations or who you are, what you're trying to do, and they just let you go and sandbox it. So how do you make decisions with that character? Is it this is what I would personally do as I'm playing this character, or this is what this character would do, versus say like BioWare's approach with Mass Effect, where Shepard is an established character, and you kind of choose some of the backgrounds that might make up what he's done before, but there's definitely something to them already.
Right.
So
yeah,
and still having that, do you still make your own personal decisions, or do you kind of make them make the decisions based on what Shepard would do?
So it's like Bethesda and BioWare games, because BioWare also has Dragon Age. They do the same thing. Knights of the Old Republic is more kind of empty because you don't know anything about him.
You don't know anything about him, so it's a lot more of the. It's a lot more like a blank slate, but there is something that the game tells you later. But
so
we'll leave that to it is. A lot of JRPGs also are on that second BioWare type of thing, where the main character is an established character, and has their own way of speaking.
And even if it's like not like some of the actions you take, it's not a Bethesda game or BioWare game where everything you do it has an action. It's just I was playing Final Fantasy Tactics on my iPad the other day, and you have some choices, very few choices. Do you want to say this or this, or do you want to do this or this? And that actually has some impact, and that's kind of like, what would he do, or what would I do?
Well, yeah, and that a lot of times it comes down to that main question: is it what would you do, or what would they do?
Yeah.
And that's. I don't know, and that's just something like I kind of thought about the other day, because when you play D&D, roleplay is usually encouraged, if not mandatory, I guess. It'll vary from one campaign to one group to the next, but I personally think it enhances it when you have that roleplay. And I was sitting there thinking about how I play the characters that I've played before. And I couldn't figure out whether or not I was making decisions based on what the character would do or what I would do in the situation. And it was like, so I was kind of sitting there thinking to myself, and I'm still not exactly sure, because now I have to like sit down and take each character and like dissect them and make what are they, who are they, what do they want, and everything like that. And then just think about the decisions and actions that I've taken and see if they line up.
It gets more intense.
It's kind of a neat little thing to think about, I guess.
Especially because there are RPGs that you literally make yourself.
Yeah.
You make yourself, and it's the end of the world, I think, series. There's like a zombie apocalypse, alien apocalypse, elder god apocalypse, and something like that, robot takeover or something. And you make yourself. And this one's a very interesting thing. You make yourself, and you give yourself stats, and then the people at the table kind of adjust it what they feel as well. So it's supposed to be more accurate, and it's supposed to be pretty intense. Like you're yourself. Because if I made myself in D&D or whatever, I would be a level 0 farmer, like you were telling me. I would not survive in that world. So I feel that the way, and it's hard for me to say because I've never actually played a character on the other side of the screen in D&D. But I would think I would play, because I play a lot of characters in the fact that I'm the DM, so I have to kind of, I don't do voices that well, so I just kind of act like that character and what they would do. And I think that's how I would play. I would act in respect for that character. That wouldn't be what I would say. And it's happened a lot in our last session where arguments have gotten heated, not too heated. And it's like, oh, is everybody cool? It's like, oh yeah, that was what my character would say. And it starts to get to the point, especially when people are role playing, a lot. It's kind of hard to just like, are you saying that as your character, or are you saying that as you, John? Are you saying that as you, or are you saying that as your character? It can get kind of like the lines start to just kind of bleed together, and that's what I really love when that starts to happening. When you play a session and literally you progress the story quite a bit, but there's not. It's just all talking and political and just story driven. It's not roll the dice, move a miniature, roll the dice, move a miniature. I love that aspect. And so I would probably, like, to answer, I guess, the topic, it would be me playing that character and what they would do, not what I would do. Now, I might make a character that's very similar to what I would do, but I also might make a character that's completely opposite. So it just depends on what kind of character I make.
So the biggest reference point I have for this when it comes to,
because you have only played like 1 or 2 sessions of D&D total,
right. and then we did the Atiri cluster for Star Wars, where we made our own characters.
Yeah,
as well.
we kind of tried to RP that a little bit.
So with that experience, I'm not sure if you guys noticed, I've literally made a completely different character, and I become that. I try to become that character.
Yeah, I have noticed that.
And that's kind of what I like to do. I did it when we did the D&D campaign. Or I don't know if you remember, but me and Hector were at the front of this cave. You're like, please do not run into the cave.
Yeah, no. Somebody said, please do not go in, and you and
I looked at Hector. Or I was like, Hector, well, hey, look, there's some noise in this cave. Let's check it out.
And that's entirely like the character that you built. Like,
yeah.
That's not what you would do, but that's what your character would do.
And fucking ran in there and.
Almost died.
Almost died. Yeah. And then the same thing with the Atiri cluster is, the character I built there. Oh. He's a farmer, and he's just a little gung ho. And sure enough, like in the very first session, it's just like, oh, I'm gonna just run into the cluster of these guys and hope I kill somebody. Just cover me, John.
So that goes. I have something to add to this. So if you make a character and start playing, how do you make your character evolve? Like you said, you ran in there, almost died. Would that
should have an impact?
That situation, that encounter affect you later on? It's like, oh, I don't want to get my leg chopped off. Let's back it up.
Well, when we did the second session, I did a lot less flying in, and I did make some mention. I don't know if you have the audio of the character talking about how. I think it said something about sometimes you need to back up and learn how to like the slow hole for your seeds, or else they won't take, or something like that. Like I just made some stupid.
Yeah, it was there. I think it actually made the episode.
It's just like I like the idea of role playing, and that's why I've always wanted to play a D&D campaign, because I want to get in and just become the character that I've created. Because I think that's fun.
Yeah,
like
it can get really fun, especially if everybody's enjoying RPing and actually into it, and especially if you play. And it's kind of hard though, because you play for 4 hours or whatever, and then you play the next week, and it's like, what did I actually say? What did I do? Because I feel that if it's a it might even be better if you play a long time, like you do, like a few day sessions where you're playing all day, that you're doing multiple encounters. And you can kind of build on what you did the first encounter, because it's kind of fresh on your mind. And I'm actually probably going to write a lot of stuff down, and when we play your session, hopefully, because I want to make my actual character grow and learn from actions from other people, and from his own actions, because. Like you said, you ran in there the first time. The next time you could just be like, oh, let's not do that. I don't want to die.
I still got my butt blown up, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and for video games, is that for some reason that's a little tricky. I don't know if I actually make decisions because of the character I'm playing or because
you occasionally find yourself doing a little bit of both, right?
Right. I like the best example I can give of that. This is going back to Fable, the first Fable, and you know how they have the good bad meter that you can do. Like if I played that game the way I want to play it, like how I would make decisions, I'm sitting about neutral of that, like chaos, like right in the middle of that for the most part. But if I played it how I felt like the character should play it, he'd more or less be full blown good. Like he would forgive the other characters that tried to wrong him and stuff like that.
And that's what I tried. Like, it's hard for me to say that because I always played, you know, Knights of the Old Republic and Mass Effect. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go full evil or dark side and full light side. Multiple playthroughs in Mass Effect, you'd go. Was it Renegade and
Paragon
and Paragon? And it's extremely hard to make enough choices to be neutral because that would probably be what I would do. Mainly because, well, like as a person, mainly because I want to do good, but I'm not a big fan of confrontation. So if me doing good involves me getting involved with something else, just like, let's just stay away.
Yeah. If for me, if we did things my way, like if I were to play like, you know, Mass Effect, it would be the opposite. Like confrontation is the game. Yeah. Like if I have to get into it with somebody. Yeah, here we go. We're gonna get into it.
Like it's not that I don't. It would be more.
You'd be more diplomatic about it.
It's not worth the effort. You know, it's like, oh, someone pulled out in front of me. I can honk and flick them off. It's like it just. Yeah, it doesn't solve anything because they're gonna drive off and not a care in the world. You know. And I'm not gonna drive and chase them down and, you know, ram them, you know, push them over. It's like, oh man, he cut me off.
Speaking of drivers, just to break away from this, something really funny happened before I got here. I was sitting at the red light. There's a car in front of me full of girls. I'm assuming they're semi-attractive. There's a car in the lane on the lane next to us, and there's a guy sitting in there. He rolls his window down and starts dancing and starts gesturing to the other car, trying to get their attention. And I thought it was the funniest thing. It's like, wow, that's how we peacock. That's hilarious. Oh. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's with the car with spinning rims and freaking, you know, hip hop music. Yeah. It reminded me of that. That was funny.
How do you play? Because you've been in your session that you played, John, for.
I've been playing that character now for close to 10 years. Granted, there was a long break in there, and another long break.
Even you still have to remember everything that your character did.
And which for the most part I do.
Here's a question that I have actually. You can answer this in the second part, but you're role playing this character 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. Is it the same now?
He is absolutely not the same.
Not the character. You.
I am absolutely not the same as I was back then.
Like, so do you roleplay it differently because of your actual changes, or? Well, I guess it depends on how you roleplay the character. Is it you as that character, or is it?
So with Sartek, the Dragonborn character,
which you can follow on Twitter when he actually plays.
For that campaign, I do live tweet it whenever we're doing it, as close to in character as I can. At Sartek Smash, if you want to follow that.
Which is interesting. It's like I always follow it, and I kind of know what's going on, or I try to.
Yeah, I have the entire campaign pretty much very, very truncated and abridged is on that Twitter page if you want to take a look at it. But essentially, when I first made Sartek, I definitely had it as an idealized version of myself. Mm-hmm. But of course, he's developed along a different path, and he's had changes that I, of course, have not had in my life because I'm not a fucking Dragonborn paladin in a high fantasy world or whatever.
What are you talking about? You've never killed anybody, and
I've never killed anybody with a sword or great axe.
With a sword or great axe, people. So
with the sword or great. I mean, I created him as an idealized version of myself, or something that I wished I could be, but of course he developed on one path, and I'm a completely different person from when I created him 10 years ago. But whenever I get back into playing that character, I still know what he's thinking.
Right.
Because I occasionally kind of think to myself about the character because I put so much time on it. I think about the character, what he's been through, what he's doing right now. what he would say in these situations, what he thinks might happen in future situations, and how he might react to them. I think about that character a lot. So it's real easy for me to like be that character and not be myself, even though it was first created as an idealized version of myself.
So do you, that was another question I have. This is almost like an interview that I have. Because I've actually never, like I said, I've never played an actual character. So has it come up certain situations, certain, questions you've answered or anything that you have this character, and are you ever presented a situation that it's hard for you to distinguish between what John would do or what Sartek would do? Does that make sense?
In the campaign?
Yeah. Like I present you this situation.
I've definitely, and thinking back, there's definitely instances where I made the decision based on, this is the more logical thing, which may or may not have lined up with that character. So I mean, it's hard. I have fallen victim, say like in Mass Effect for the most part, I was doing primarily a Paragon run, but this one character, I don't like that character, and it gave me the option to pull the trigger, so I pulled the trigger. I didn't care because it made me upset, and I don't know if it made Shepard upset, but maybe I was playing Shepard, or I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's instances like that where you think about it, it's like, did I just do that because I did that, or did I just do that because Shepard's supposed to do that, or because Sartek's supposed to do that, or because and whatever the character I did in Skyrim did that.
And that's what I've running the campaign I have here, I've tried to implement, choices that the people had to make that kind of push that choice they make, just like, oh, should I do this or should I do that? Now it's like, all right, make sure you're choosing as not what you personally would do, but what your character would do. And it's hard to, again, not being on that other side of the screen. I haven't been presented that choice, so I don't know what I would do or what my character that I made would do.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting, and it's going to take some time for me to get used to that. Because when you play character NPCs, they're kind of scripted. You have, like, I script, like, all right, this is the information I need this NPC to relay or to answer. You're
supposed to give this to the party.
Yeah. And there's been more interaction, they keep asking. I was like, okay, I don't know. I don't have time to do a whole backstory. What is he like? What is he like?
So then you just got to pull it out.
And so I just kind of...
And hopefully whenever you're done with that interaction, it's still the same character that you...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's something that I actually just came to mind in regards to all this, even though it's not tied to like playing a character in a video game or a board game.
It might be.
But it's the similar in fashion because it's still somebody playing a completely different person. You guys ever heard of the documentary The Great Beyond?
No.
Where Jim Carrey played Andy Kaufman? Or he like assumed the role of Andy Kaufman and a few other characters. Like, watch that documentary, because when Jim Carrey just gets into makeup and all that, he's no longer Jim Carrey. You are not dealing with Jim Carrey anymore. You're dealing with Andy Kaufman.
It's like when Daniel Day-Lewis gets into a role for a film.
Well, he's a method actor, he's in that.
When he did Last of the Mohicans, he was living
in the wild.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
Exactly. And I only reason why I bring this up, I recommend it because even Jim Carrey was he was playing the character so hard because they were recreating the scene where he goads Jerry the King Lawler into wrestling him, and he, as Andy Kaufman, went so far he got socked the fuck out by him. Like, he got like his ass beat. Yeah. And afterwards, after Jim was done with the character, he's like, I'm glad we're done, because I don't remember a whole lot from that, but I remember that was not something I would have done. And he pretty much said that he did it because it's what Andy would have done. Yeah. And he was a slave to following that. It's a really good documentary to watch. It's really interesting. You guys should definitely watch it. I recommend it. It kind of gives another lens over what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And so, kind of going off of that, I'm no longer that character. When I run my sessions, I try to have them, whatever you say at this table was actually in your character, unless you have to make sure that if you're saying something that's not in your character, it's like out of character.
I've been in some groups that would not go well at all. Like, like the towns would be on fire and stuff like that if that was in place.
Why is that?
Oh, we just say a lot of dumb bullshit whenever we're playing. But I mean, like, if that same dumb bullshit was actually said in character.
Yeah.
That if me the John and Noe the Noe we're talking about the dumb person on the other side of that tavern over here as John and Noe, but it was taken as insert character name and insert character name instead. And then then a bar fight ensues because we're making a joke about that character over there because that we whatever.
So the reason I try to do that, I don't enforce it, but it's just because.
Why are we taking a picture?
It's to get kind of people in that RP mood, because sometimes you get the character that wants to play, and then they're shy, they're timid, not shy, but just. They're scared to start RPing, but man, the other session, once you get that kind of imaginary wall down, and they start RPing, and then they just went off. Like my last session, they were just talking for an hour and a half in character, and I'm just sitting back as a DM, just kind of enjoying it. And it's at that point when you're, and they even started talking like after the session was over, they were sitting there texting in the group chat, just like. And stuff. I'm like, okay, guys, like they'll start texting. It's like, all right, what is my character? Can he do? When they're talking about their character and the story and everything outside of the game, that's really cool. That's a really good feeling as a DM. You're just like, all right, they're talking about this. It's on their mind. It's like the choices they actually now know. Because the first few levels, the first few sessions is kind of what is the actual main storyline, because you don't know it. It's not just. All right, the world's going to end here. This is what you have to do. It doesn't present itself like that the majority of the time. And so you kind of have to build toward that. And the characters, when they start role-playing, not really role-playing, but just speaking about their characters outside of it, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like I'm getting excited to play now because I've never played as a character.
So it seems like most of us in general try to play as the character would play. But are there instances where we might have played exclusively as we would make that decision or something like that?
Probably.
Or is it frowned upon or like seen as less than to do that version?
So there's, like I said, there's those RPGs that you play as your character or as yourself.
Right. You told me that there's one where the character creation is you literally take yourself and the other party members adjust it to make sure that it is actually yourself.
So it's the End of the World series. I think I forgot who it is, but there's a zombie, alien, the Cthulhu one, and then robots, I believe. And you basically play as your character, and it's a survival thing. And you play yourself, and you start off with whatever you have.
I'm bringing a bunch of weapons to session one.
You come in this like backpack. You start off with something, and you play, and you're just surviving. And then there's also there's one I think it's Dog Eat Dog or something like that, and that one's kind of you play it once, you never want to play it again, because it's literally the person who has the most money on hand is the kind of the, for lack of better terms, the white person, and then everybody else is kind of like a indigenous, person, and it gets it's a reality check. And so they make these laws or whatever, and you're supposed to follow them, but then at any time they can just kind of change it, and some people, it's a hit in the face, that's for sure, because it's like at that point you're already one step ahead of everybody because you have the most money. But is there any game I've played actually as myself? Ooh, that's hard.
The only one right now that comes to mind is a second run of Mass Effect I was doing, where I was originally gonna go ahead and go through the whole franchise, and I was kind of making, instead of doing Paragon Neutral, Renegade, and just picking it based on going one of those routes, I would kind of fluctuate. It tended to be mostly neutral and occasionally one or the other, because that's more of what I would have said in the situation. And someone that was watching me play at the time was just like, "Are you doing this neutral run or something?" It's just like it had to be that kind of run. I was like, Wait, I mean, if you make decisions just based on what you would do in that situation, is that a bad thing then? Do I have to play it as a Paragon? I have to play it as a Renegade?
Yeah.
I have to play it as a neutral? Why can't I, I don't know. That one caught me weird, and it's the only time right now that I can think of that I definitely played specifically as I would choose this.
I probably played the Dragon Age series like that, especially Dragon Age 2, I think it was. I think it's Dragon Age 2. Yeah. So at Dragon Age 2, at one point you get tasked with deciding the fate of the mages, because magic users in that one have to be registered and have to be all that stuff. And it gets pretty like a gut check. It's like you're basically forcing them to register and all this stuff, or exterminating them completely, or siding with them. And I think I had one run where I kind of just went, I myself, this is me. I don't know if I would like that character. I'm going to do this to him or whatever. And I think that's the closest. It's definitely video games that I've done a few runs. Like, I myself would do that. In the Knights of the Old Republic, I've done a few things. I say as myself if I was in a Star Wars universe.
What I have done of KOTOR has been more of what I would choose, yeah.
And there's been some evil ones and some bad ones. Like, I don't really like that character. He said this to me, so I would probably...
He's coming off as a dick, so I'm going to be a dick back.
Yeah, exactly. So if I... Definitely video games where I done some choices based off what I would do and not what the character would do.
Yeah, the only video game, or only form of media again was a video game where I've done that, and that's the Saints Row series. 3 and 4, I've made choices purely by what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Yeah. No, the ending of 5, I won't say exactly what it is, but the ending of 5, I made that decision entirely based on how I felt about the characters. Me, myself, not what, the character who was making the final choice in the game, spoilers, there's a final choice, would make or would do or anything like that. It was entirely based on I'm picking that one. It's just like it was me, myself.
It's like that in so I played Final Fantasy VII, one of the first games that you make choices,
7?
Yeah. So
I guess you respond to certain things.
So well, not just that, just and when you get to the golden whatever. And you can go on a date on different people.
Oh, yeah, because whoever you talk to first and the things that you say.
So it's like Cloud would probably pick Tifa, I would think.
And she's the default.
Yeah. But I always try to get Yuffie before then, and I always try to pick her. I think it was Yuffie. I don't remember. Or Cloud would... maybe Cloud would pick Ares. I don't know. Like... It's just kind of, what he would pick, and then, okay...
It's not worth it. She ain't gonna make it.
Yeah. It's like, I want to do...
Yo, spoilers.
I mean,
just
that game's so old.
Like,
shit, wait, no, you haven't played it.
No, but I know...
you should know that by now.
I know all about the story.
Okay.
Yeah. And so there's...
Shit.
even games like that where there's not a lot of choices, but are a few choices that it's like, what would... so-and-so do?
What would so-and-so do? Or what I do?
Yeah.
Are they different? Are they the same?
Yeah. Most part for JRPGs is probably close to the same. Because most heroes that you play, they're not evil characters.
Yeah, no, a lot of JRPGs I play way more as the character because they're so much more fleshed out.
Yeah.
They usually hand you a character. This is their entire backstory, and this is already what you know about them and how they act.
And like when you pick something that's completely off the wall, the other NPCs or other characters are just like that. That's not like you. Or like you pick something that wouldn't actually they have done.
Yeah, it's like in Persona where it has like 2 responses, and the third one is always like really weird or really rude or something like that.
Yeah,
like that's 'cause it's intentionally there to like get a reaction out of people.
Yeah, pretty great. But yeah.
Role-playing's weird. It's also fun. It's fun. Also difficult to think about like whether or not you actually play as the character because, like I said, I've sat there for a while and just thought, did I?
Especially
which ones? What did I say? Did I say the right thing? Would that have been the right thing?
Especially
if
you have a very diverse I say cast, but a diverse group in the fact of what they feel, what they think. So you're a paladin in your campaign. He's usually lawful, usually good. Not
usually, and this is the thing I usually have to point out is that I have no specific feelings towards law and chaos. I have a specific set of tenets that I have to stick to.
So that's lawful. Not good.
It is not law.
It's
but
not
it is
good.
Not law.
Lawful in the sense that you follow a strict guideline or
not a strict guideline. It's like 3 things, and as long as I follow them, and defend that thing, then
but that's still lawful in a sense.
I would not even say it's lawful. And and see, right now you're arguing with me, who is defending the character.
No, yeah,
because this is my baby.
Yeah, I say lawful in the sense that you have a set of rules that you follow. Right? Is that right? You have your own morals and rules that you follow, and you try to stick to them.
Follow is a strong word. That's part of the flaw that I built into the character.
Mm-hmm.
I said I originally meant it. I originally designed it as an idealized version of myself, and then later I brought in my own flaws into that character.
Because lawful isn't the law is this, the government laws are this. It's just your own things, and I feel that you follow this no matter what. I think
that one we start getting into different definitions of it from DM to DM.
Yeah.
Because law and chaos might mean 2 different things in that aspect to different people. Chaos is probably a little bit more. I think we kind of have an idea of that, but law might have a little bit more of a different.
Because it's the same. Because you can have a lawful good and a lawful evil. Lawful evil follows a set of guidelines and morals, but theirs are evil.
Yeah,
lawful the whole alignment thing is kind of. I don't think it's a set in stone.
No, it is definitely not set in stone. Everyone I talk to about that has different.
So here's a question that might be a little bit off topic, but kind of go in there. Should or will a character's alignment shift throughout a campaign?
Your character's alignment can shift. It may have impacts on what you can do and what might happen to the people around you.
Especially if you make a character that's very impressionable.
Yeah. No, I'd say it can definitely shift because you're not going to say, okay, you're not going to be a lawful good character and you're only going to follow the law and you're only going to do good things and stuff like that. That's going to be your major push. But
especially, you can have that, and then the DM can put in a very something that just throws a brick, a fork in the path right there. It's like, oh, you're following these rules, but then you find out that these rules are actually not good, or
you have to.
Those are the fun stuff.
Yeah.
You have to break one of the rules to save somebody.
And at that point, it gets really hard when you say, myself would at that point be, okay, then if I find out that this is evil, then I probably wouldn't do it. Or not evil, but this isn't as good as I thought. I probably would not change it. But my character might have only known that his entire life. Would he still follow it? I think.
And if he breaks from it, what happens?
I think they would. If I met a character that's all they know, and everything like that.
And then there's older systems where if you didn't stay within one step of your alignment to the deity, if you were a paladin or whatever, then you completely lost all of your abilities or whatever. Because now you're just you're not completely in sync with what. Yeah, it's crazy. But no, you can definitely shift. I would say that's for sure. And it was definitely not set in stone. Like you are this, you are this. That's just kind of a guidance of. It's really just here's a little bit of guidance to how you might be able to play this character and approach certain situations or whatever. I don't think it's like you are this.
And it's hard.
I'm very against the you are this kind of approach to a lot of things.
Yeah. It's like it's more of, does your character lean more toward good or evil or lawful and chaotic?
Yeah, I just view it as it's a decision making helper.
Yeah.
That's about it, really.
Chaotic neutral, bitches.
Yeah, you would be chaotic.
I think I'm neutral good with my new character because.
No, I actually have no idea.
What's funny, and this may be a cop out, but it's like every single one of my characters does not if they were to hear about the concept of those
Mm-hmm.
the 9 alignments, they would just be like, whatever, unaligned, fuck it, they'll take the 10th alignment.
Yeah.
No, I just, there's stuff I'm trying to do, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Which other people would then see that and put it in wherever they're going to put it.
Yeah. Alignment in any kind of, because I'm sure other games call it something different, but for the most part, alignment is just a very, it depends on what the situation is. Especially myself. Like, as me, depending on what the situation is, I might shift toward whatever. But you gotta imagine, you're playing a character, they may stick more toward that, and a situation that would change it has to be a very big situation, a very dramatic event that happened to them, or that will happen to them, or that's happening to them, to shift to something else. Because, I don't know, because again, I never played a character, so this is me as a DM speaking, and so I don't know.
So, and this will be interesting, since you haven't played a character that often, and you've played maybe one or two, how do you make that character, and how do you get into that character when you're about to play as them?
I mean, I've made this character because what you've told us from your campaign.
It's the earliest days of the Industrial Revolution, except instead of steam and coal-powered stuff, it is magic-based.
Right.
So we're going to start to see technology come out.
Yeah.
Very rare still, but
Yeah. So when you started making that one, I was like, I definitely want to make a play test, the Artificer, or is that what they're called?
Artificer.
Yeah.
Artificer.
Yeah, I wanted to make that character, and I wanted to make an alchemist, because I kind of wanted to make a character that's more of, I mean, he's going to be magic, but I kind of want to change it to more science.
Yeah, and soon enough we'll have to
technology.
sit down and figure out exactly how to shift that out.
Same effect, and I just wanted to be, someone that's kind of doing experiments and doing the technology and trying to, I guess, you'll know, but your character might know this, depending on what their backstories are, kind of just grow that knowledge and be a part of that birth of this new technology and everything. My character definitely wants to do that. He's always in his lab or wherever, workshop, finding stuff and learning everything, and always reading books and stuff like that. He definitely knows in the book. Adventuring is kind of maybe not his thing. He's definitely a not pacifist, but he doesn't like to fight.
Oh, Letty. I got some surprises for you.
Yeah, he would definitely try to avoid fights or find a different way to.
Hey man, if you can end the encounter without having to fight anything, that's still pacifying the enemy, and I'd still say that's XP worthy.
No, that always, it's like, if you can get by, this encounter doesn't have to end in death or bloodshed or anything like that. If you can pass this encounter without drawing your sword, you still get the XP, maybe even more, because it as thinking outside the box or getting inspiration.
Depending on how much you piss me off.
Yeah. I mean, that's my character. Now, that's going to be completely different than most characters I would like to play, because I like to play a ranger type character and always combat and optimizing all this stuff. So this is going to be a different stretch, like playing this character that's kind of just, he's a gnome too, so he's super small and everything. So I'm excited to try and play that.
All mine are usually easy to DM, because it's all resolving around a question: who did this? What is this thing? What happened to me? Kind of thing. It's all my characters is all around that. So it's usually easy to DM. I think. I don't know. I've never been on that side of the screen. It could be hard for all I know. Yeah. But I know it's easy to role play though, because now I'm just like, I want to find this thing out. Yeah. Is this going to help me find this thing out? Cool, let's do it. Is it not? What's it going to get me otherwise then? Yeah. Enough, a lot of gold? Can that gold help me find out the answer? You can? Alright, let's do it. Yeah. Do I owe you one? I owe you one? You're going to do this thing? Alright, fine, let's go. That tends to be a lot of my interactions.
Yeah. But anyways, I think that's we're starting to go off the rocks on this one.
What? What? Where's the rock? I don't see no rocks. I see a table. I see a polyhedral ceramic dice holder and a test tube and some beer salt.
We drink when we play. As you can see, that bottle behind you, Noe.
Oh, yeah.
I think we did that once, and I think it turned out alright. But I could be
Oh,
wrong.
you guys drank this stuff. Ooh.
Yeah.
Surprised no one hit each other with the bottle.
So when we play, we do a thing that if you roll a natural 20, you take a shot.
Oh.
So 2 weeks ago when we played, or 2 sessions ago when we played, within the first 30 minutes, 2 people rolled 3 20s, 1 person rolled 2 20s, and I rolled 1 20. It was a hot night for dice. We finished that bottle off in like an hour and a half. And it was bad. At that point, everybody was drunk. Because we were also just, drinking a beer or two or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Last session, this past Friday night, I think there's a 120 rolled the entire time.
There's like a third of a shot in here still.
But yeah, that's what we do. Just kind of keep everybody,
Yeah.
it gets interesting.
Well, I've told John this. My birthday's coming up next month, and I
Your
actually have
birthday
I have that weekend off.
The 23rd?
Yeah.
The day after mine.
Yep. Oh, it's the day after yours. So I have that weekend off. We should probably do like a get together party thing for you, me, and everybody else.
I agree. Do a thing.
Anyway,
I shall role play my character the entire. No.
Let's end the podcast.
I don't have enough armor for that.
How do we end the podcast? End.
That's way too definitive. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you for joining us on this podcast. This has been a great talking session.
I'm sorry
As I
you
start swinging a bottle towards John.
I'm sorry you stuck around to witness this murder that's about to happen.